Hello, this is going to be a quick update on what I've been up to, and sadly I don't have a time lapse of a drawing this time, but I'm gonna show you what I've been working on. I've just finished this drawing of Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana. I don't have a video of the drawing process because I've been working on a couple of different projects at the same time and I've only recorded one of them. But I wanted to show you this one as well. This was a commissioned drawing. It was done mostly in charcoal pencil and a bit of black colored pencil. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about some of the detail in this drawing and some of the things that I did with it. So this is what the drawing looks like from up close. And there are lots of smaller details and highlights on the drawing which were a little bit tricky to draw. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to grab a piece of paper here and cover it with some charcoal. Actually, I'm just going to cover a portion of it with charcoal, and then I'm going to try to erase some of it. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I want it pitch black because his shirt in this drawing looks almost pitch black, but it's not quite so. So let's say that we have an area that's really dark, like this. Now, one of the ways that you can draw highlights is with a pencil like this. This is in a pencil eraser, which can be sharpened. I know there are smaller and sharper ones than this one, but this one works fine. And the other one is, of course, with a kneaded eraser. Now, a kneaded eraser, now that I've blended it with my finger, I'm not sure how much I will be able to lift up, but let's try. You see that it's not creating a huge amount of contrast, but I did manage to lift up a little bit. The pencil eraser, if you try to rub it, will do a better job, I think. Now, this is not completely white, obviously, but because the background is so dark, we're creating a large amount of contrast, so this appears almost white in comparison to this dark area around it. So this is a way to draw some of these highlights. Now, if you want to create smoother transitions, if you want to make something just a little bit lighter, I'm afraid this will not be the best option, because if you look at his shirt here, there are some lighter areas here around his sleeve, and there are portions which are really dark, almost completely black, and there are portions which are just slightly lighter. So if you want to create that smoother transition, let me just go over this a little bit. If you want to create that smoother transition, one way of doing it is to try to lift it up with a kneaded eraser. But because it gets dirty quickly, you have to change the side and pick up a little bit more with a cleaner part of it. Now, as you can see, you don't really have that much control when you're working with a kneaded eraser. Another way which works really well for me is with a brush. When you have a stiff brush like this and you go over this darkest area, and you want to make sure that the brush is not that dirty, that it doesn't have too much charcoal on it, you'll see what's happening. You'll see that as I go over this area with a brush, I'm actually making it slightly lighter. And if I keep going over it, you will see that I'm making a very smooth transition where this area, which is almost completely black, is turning into a slightly lighter, really dark gray. So this is good for those smoother transitions. Now let's get back to these strong highlights. Like I said, one of the best ways to draw them is with a pencil eraser like this. Now it's kind of dirty, so it's not doing really well. But another way to do that, obviously, and the best way to do it, is to leave the area white. So the white of the paper serves as the best highlight on a drawing, and sometimes you'll be able to do that. Sometimes it'll be difficult to achieve that, and sometimes you'll just need to erase a certain portion. But the problem is that with charcoal and with other media as well, you won't be able to erase it quite as clean in order to make it completely white and in order to make it stand out. So in those cases you can use a gel pen like this. This is a white gel pen, and I tend to avoid using it. I used it for this drawing, and I used it in several places for some of the detail on the guitar, the buttons, and also on his hair here, because I was unable to erase it to be almost completely white. And some people consider using a white pen or a gouache cheating. I don't really care too much about that. I think it's okay to use a little bit of white pen, but the problem is that it doesn't always integrate that well with different types of media. I found that it doesn't work that well with graphite at all. First, because graphite is a lubricant, so sometimes they don't mix too well. And second, you will have some problems with the varied tones, and even though these drawings look pretty good when you see them on Facebook or on Instagram, in real life they tend not to look as well. But with charcoal, I think the gel pen actually works quite a bit better. And you can see that you can draw some very nice highlights with it, and it tends to integrate a little bit better with charcoal. And if you want to make it integrate even a little bit more, you can draw over some of these highlights and maybe soften their edges a little bit and sort of integrate them a little bit better into the charcoal. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I just made this quick video as an update because I don't have a video drawing process. I'm going to be taking a short break from from making videos for YouTube, because I have a couple more commissioned drawings to finish, but I'll be back in a week or so. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.